love for somebody in that caucus to tell me why we even have one. Because if the best you can do is retract a nicely worded letter asking for diplomacy while still granting ludicrous sums of money, then I don't see the point. I
agree. I don't really see the point, and I don't really see what Alex's point was either, other than you're trying to stonewall this movement that is desperate for something. There isn't a fight right now that is being perpetuated on the left, and you're conceding everything to Hakeem Jeffries?
Without even, this is...
Not even a slight push.
No discussion. Was there a discussion?
Do you think?
Is there no one else who could have been suitable? Could we have not even had a debate about the best person? Like, I'm telling you.
And here's an idea.
This is absurd.
And this is the thing where people lose trust. So when you say, well, we have to be a united Democratic Party so we can get policy passed because we might be able to convince a few Republicans to come to our side. Who is the Speaker of the House? Your bills, supposedly, listen, you should be fighting for Medicare for all right now just to make sure that McCarthy doesn't bring it to the floor and create momentum. But you're not going to do that because you have too many corrupt members of your own party that don't want it because they are bought and paid for, like our representative, by corporate special interests, including private insurance and big pharma. You are either going to fight as you need to, which means that you are going to have people in your own party hate your guts and wish you were out of politics.
I don't understand why you're there.
Because it's a great life.
Well, I mean, yes, but I would like some of them to justify why you're a member of a caucus that doesn't do anything. And by the way, there's a lot of people. Shontel Brown is a member of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. So clearly it doesn't mean anything.
You said the progressive word has been completely destroyed.
Yeah. Well, okay. So be that as it may, regardless of what the name means, then I don't understand the point of being a voting contingency if you don't make anything be contingent on your vote.
And not a vote on
like,
anything. Not even
doing?
one. You haven't even tried it one time.
Nothing.
And you're allowing Matt Gaetz to get to the left.
I got to tell you. And okay, so I saw.
So
did you?
bad.
So you forwarded me that Matt Gaetz was on Tim Pool.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, and I'm not a fan of Matt Gaetz. I think he's pretty friggin' douchey, but he comes off, if you see him on Rogan, extremely reasonable and rational, and like he's actually one of the people putting up a good fight against the corporate nonsense.
And he knows exactly. And let me tell you, you can hate Matt Gaetz from now until the end of time, ladies and gentlemen. Rick Scott is in his late 60s. I'll give Rick Scott probably until 2036, the latest, that he's going to be in the U.S. Senate, because Matt Gaetz is going to get there eventually. He knows exactly what he's doing.
The only thing that can send his way is certain legal complications.
That's correct. And he's got him. And he's got him. But you know what? They always manage to go away. And one of the reasons it goes away is because of his daddy. Sorry, Matt, I can't.
Well, there's that. And again, I have very, my thoughts on the whole thing about him with the girl thing is like, it's complicated because I do find him lechy and gross. But he's not a pedophile.
But he's allowed to get on there. And he's allowed to state the truth about what it's like doing business on the Hill that is completely open if somebody like AOC or Cori Bush or Jamal Bowman or Rashida Tlaib, anybody, you have this wide open opportunity to be speaking about what really goes on, and you're letting Matt Gaetz do this?
Well, and think about how ridiculous this is. These people who didn't get concessions for even voting for a minority speaker, like the minority leader, right? Like you didn't get, and the other side gets concessions for their vote for the Speaker of the House. That's arguably a lot bigger of a hurdle to overcome than voting for the minority leader position.
Great, full circle here regarding Katie Porter and Dianne Feinstein. There are what you would call the true blue liberals that are here in Broward, and a number of them support Jen. And a number of them had their opinions because they all watched The View, and whether they agree or not agree with what was said. But the one thing that I found interesting was that a number of them agreed that we need to have term limits. And Matt Gaetz, of all people, lays out why term limits actually make sense. And so when you have people on the left now saying that we need to have term limits because of a situation like Dianne Feinstein, that is one of the concessions that Matt Gaetz and that contingent of the GOP was able to get out of Kevin McCarthy.
Well, can we just mention for a second what we mean by contingent? Because what these people are getting, they're not getting these things. They're getting votes on those things. Let us all question for a moment, why is it that our representatives have to fight so hard to just get a vote on something? See, this to me is absurd. Everything should be able to have a vote. Everything should be able to have a vote. If you're keeping things from having a vote, then that's the opposite of a democracy. Am I wrong? So we're fighting over. We're not even fighting over the issues. They're fighting over even allowing them to be voted on. That's where we are, people.
And that's not the worst one of all. When they say that the GOP didn't get any real concessions or ones that will be longstanding, I will tell you that aside from the military budget cut, there was one in particular that is not getting talked about enough. And that one is they have now prevented the House Speaker and anyone within the GOP caucus from preventing I guess the technical term or the technical way
anybody can get rid of the speaker.
Well, it's not that's not it. What it is if you are in a safe district. Now, whatever the definition of a safe district may be, +7, +8, anything above that considered a safe district. And so what is now happening as a result in the GOP side, now, of course, it's not going to happen on the Democratic side because they're not fighting for that. But on the GOP side, if it is a GOP safe district, the GOP hierarchy stays out of the primaries. These candidates are now allowed to go head to head in a primary. And why are they able to do that? Because no matter what, the winner is going to be a member of the political party in question, in this case, the GOP. They do not have that in the Democratic Party. They did not agree to those terms, where somebody like Hakeem Jeffries can bring in his AIPAC money and sabotage a non-corporate candidate running for office in a democratically safe blue district. That should be a major talking point. Why is the GOP doing this and the Democratic Party isn't? That's a big deal.
So you're saying, wait. I was lost for a second. You're saying they want to have a vote on dark money in their primaries?
Yeah, the GOP voted against dark money coming after primary challengers in safe red districts.
Oh my God! See, this is I don't
so when
understand
anybody
how
comes
the
on
Democrats.
Here,
oh my
like
God!
When you come on here, anybody who is on the Democratic side who comes on here to complain that the GOP is bad, there is a reason we've been telling you for a while that Ron DeSantis is the next president. You have to look at these little things and realize that they're much bigger than people are making them out to be.
They look better.
Imagine
they look better. They're actually, you're talking about they're fighting for democratic principle things. One of the concessions, one of the things they got was their ability to more easily remove a speaker that isn't working for their party. The Republicans are actually much more concerned with democracy within their own party.
Right.
They're not concerned with it for the rest of us, mind you, but they are definitely more concerned with democracy within their party structure, and the Democrats are not.
No, because the Democrats know that this is also part of the reason, and listen, this is why this conversation can go on forever, but there's a reason why the national security state has completely ingrained themselves within the Democratic side versus the GOP side. Because for them, it's about permanent Washington. It's about keeping the institutions as they are and buying off whichever side they have to in order to keep it that way. There used to be a huge contingent on the Democratic side, especially during the Bush years, that was against what the FBI and the CIA and the NSA were doing. As it stands today, it's completely flipped itself around. There's always going to be one side that says we're against it and one side that says they're for it. That's how this continues and how it never changes. Imagine if Jen were to run for Congress again against Wasserman Schultz, and what prospect it would mean if she didn't have to worry about the Democratic Party establishment hierarchy sticking their nose involved in the race.
No, what if I didn't have to worry about AIPAC? Because that's the thing.
This is a +12 D district. There is no reason for them to worry at all about what goes on around here. Yeah, the GOP candidate who ran, Carla Spalding, who ran against Debbie this last election, got within 10 points. That's still a 10-point margin that isn't going to get broken. And this was the ultimate wave. So to say that these seats are safe would be an understatement. They do not want to challenge the corporate hierarchy. That's what it's about.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.